Rising violence against Christians in Nigeria, a crisis demanding global attention. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, is once again facing international scrutiny over escalating violence that has left thousands of Christians dead or displaced. Attacks attributed to armed extremist groups and radicalized militias, often linked with Islamist ideologies, have drawn concern from global human rights organizations, church leaders, and humanitarian agencies. The ongoing crisis, concentrated in the country's middle belt and northern regions, is being described by some observers as a slow-motion genocide, a pattern of targeted attacks. Reports from Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and local civic groups indicate that Christian communities in states such as Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, and Nasarawa have suffered repeated, coordinated attacks. Armed groups, often described as Fulani militias or radical Islamist terrorists, have raided villages, burned churches, destroyed farmland, and carried out mass killings. Survivors recount nighttime assaults in which gunmen stormed entire communities, leaving behind charred homes and mass graves. One of the most shocking incidents occurred in Plateau State earlier this year, where more than 200 villagers were killed in a series of raids. Governor Caleb Mutfwang openly described the violence as genocide against Plateau's indigenous Christian population. Similar massacres have been recorded in Benue and Kaduna, where displaced persons camps now hold tens of thousands of Christian families forced to flee their ancestral lands. Humanitarian toll. The humanitarian impact is devastating. Christian farmers, already facing economic hardship, have lost farmland and livelihoods due to destruction by armed groups. According to Amnesty International, over 10,000 people have been killed in such attacks since 2022, with a significant proportion belonging to Christian minority communities in Muslim-majority regions. Churches have become targets, with Sunday worship services disrupted by deadly assaults, echoing the infamous 2022 Owo Catholic Church massacre in Ondo State. Beyond the immediate deaths, the crisis has led to widespread displacement. Camps for internally displaced persons (IDPs) are overcrowded, underfunded, and plagued by disease, malnutrition, and lack of basic services. Faith-based humanitarian groups have stepped in, but the scale of need far exceeds their resources. Government denial and international pressure. The Nigerian federal government has consistently rejected claims that the violence amounts to a religious genocide. Officials argue that the crisis is part of a broader security breakdown affecting all citizens, whether Christian or Muslim, and that criminal gangs and armed herders are driven more by resource competition than by ideology. Nevertheless, the scale and apparent targeting of Christian villages has fueled skepticism about this official narrative. Internationally, advocacy groups like Open Doors and Christian Solidarity Worldwide have urged stronger intervention, accusing Nigerian authorities of downplaying the sectarian nature of the killings. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, USCIRF, has repeatedly flagged Nigeria as a country of particular concern, pressing for sanctions and global attention. A call for justice. As violence intensifies, the central question remains unresolved. Is Nigeria witnessing a hidden genocide against its Christian population, or a broader security collapse framed through sectarian lines? Regardless of classification, the human suffering is undeniable. Christian families continue to bury their dead, rebuild their villages, and pray for protection as the world debates terminology. Without urgent international action, ranging from humanitarian aid to pressure on Nigeria's government to strengthen security and accountability, the killings risk becoming normalized. For many Christians in Nigeria's Middle Belt, survival itself has become a daily act of faith.